This is Justice with Tablet Pro. In this video, I want to talk about my few gripes with the laptop Studio. Some of these will apply to the Surface Pro 8, but that's not really the primary purpose of this video. Okay, so I love the laptop Studio. It is my favorite machine that I've ever owned, best one that Microsoft has ever made by far, in my opinion. Fantastic for art, decent for gaming, and, well, I guess it'll transition me into my very first gripe, is the Laptop Studio GPU, which if you've watched my channel, you've heard me complain about it already. The 3050 Ti, it's a not even lateral move from the Surface Book 3. This is a GPU that is roughly 10% slower than the 1660 Ti that was in the Surface Book 3. So, and that's from a couple different tests that I saw online on Geekbench and a few other places where they're comparing those two mobile and laptop GPUs. So if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I don't think it's a really big step forwards for the GPU. Now, with the design, it's still a better option for me. So I'm going from a Surface Pro 7 Plus to a laptop Studio. And so it's a huge performance gain. The CPU is better. And so there's tests showing that the laptop Studio is still outperforming the Surface Book 3, but the GPU is not better. So that would be my first gripe. I would have loved to have seen a 3060 in the laptop Studio. That would have been a huge improvement over the 3050 Ti. I believe it's 40 to 60% improvement over the 3050, and definitely better than the 1660 Ti that was in the Surface Book 3. Okay, all right, the second gripe that I have, and we're going to switch to some settings inside of Windows in order to look at this one. Let's go to Display. And what I want you to notice in the display is HDR is not available except for streaming content. Why? I don't understand. Why do we not have the ability to use the display for gaming and for the entire system as an HDR display? I have no idea. Dolby Vision is there for streaming, but we cannot use it for everything. I would love to play games in HDR. So the Pro 7 Plus, everything else, none of those have HDR until this one, and this one is very limited. Grr, why Microsoft? And maybe there's an update that will add this, I don't know. The next thing I would say is we don't have yet the variable refresh. This is not really a complaint, just a note. So variable refresh means that you're going from 60 frames a second to 120 frames a second based on the speed of what's going on with the cursor, the pointer, the pen, and then slower if you're on a web page and you're not moving. And so it's just increasing battery life. I've heard a number of people say that going from 60 to 120 hertz is going to cut about an hour of battery life off of your use. I don't know, but just a little note. Okay, the next thing that I would like to point out, the lack of micro SD card. So we went from having the pretty much all of the different devices having either an SD, full-size SD card slot, or micro SD card slot. I had my Surface Pro 7 Plus has a 512 gigabyte micro SD card that I can store and play games from without a performance loss. So having to buy the far more expensive, you're paying $400 for the equivalent space of a $70 micro SD card. That's a lack, that's a loss. I've ordered a little tiny micro SD card that supports 5 gigs per second. Transfer speeds, it's gonna stick out of the side when I use it. That's really annoying. I think there should be another option. I would love to see a USB-C cable that has a built-in inline micro SD card slot. That would be cool. So I'm not connecting extra things. I'm not using up a port. I would just need to register that micro SD card as a second device, like a hub. So the next slight gripe is the screen brightness. I wish it was just a little bit lighter. 500 nits is the highest of any Surface device I've used. I don't know what the Surface Studio is, but I doubt that it's that high. This is roughly 25% brighter than the Surface Pro 7 Plus that I have, which is about 400 nits. And I've used this outside under an umbrella at the beach. And it was nice. It was good. A little brighter would be obviously a little bit better. 600 is a really good starting point for outdoor use in more situations than under an umbrella, and I was using my skimboard as a secondary sun shield. So for a little bit duplication of shade in order to get it to a spot where it was really comfortable to use. And it was really comfortable to use. So I'm not saying this is bad. This is a good step in the right direction, but not quite as much as I would have liked. The next thing I would mention is I wish it was black. I really like matte black. I really like that understated, really cool color. The silver's fine. It really is a nice looking machine. Nice looking machine. Matte black would have been better. So again, these are tiny little gripes. This is my favorite machine I've ever used. And so far, great for everything I've wanted to use it for. So last thing on the list, again, this is a tiny gripe. I wish that all of the ports were on the same side. So right now the ports are split. So USB-C is over here and the charging port and headphone jack are over here. It'd be nice because I use mine in bed. I have cables now shooting out of both sides of the laptop studio, which means just a little bit more work to set it up and it's a little messier. I will say on the plus side, the fans sound extremely clean. It's like a very nice, quiet fan sound. That's a positive. Watch my other videos where I'm talking about all the different positives of the laptop studio. Love it for art. It's fantastic. Gaming, it's a little bit underpowered. You're going to be fine at like 1800 by 1200, that 3:2 aspect ratio, running at high settings at about 60 frames a second on almost all pretty graphically intense games, and that's good. Would be nice, last thing, would be nice if there was a regular spot on it on the side for storing a regular stylus instead of the Slim Pen 2 only. This is fantastic. Best stylus Microsoft has made, best one on the market. It would be nice to have some more alternative options that could dock in that, like if they had made it so it was not flat but round and a space for it, that would be great. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you use a stylus and a Windows tablet, this is a great channel for you, so please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.